GM und herzlich willkommen zu Kryptoticker, der Podcast. Wie ihr vielleicht mitbekommen habt, war vor kurzem die NFT Paris und wir waren vor Ort und konnten einige spannende Podcast-Folgen aufnehmen. Wir starten auch direkt mit einer der spannendsten Personen aus dem Space, Sebastién Borget, der COO und Co-Founder von The Sandbox. Ich hatte die Chance, mit Sebastién live auf der NFT Paris zu sprechen, über die Entwicklungen von The Sandbox seit 2011 bis heute, seine Sicht auf Open Metaverse und Web3, wie sein typischer Tag eigentlich so aussieht und natürlich seine Eindrücke von der NFT Paris. Das solltet ihr nicht verpassen und jetzt viel Spaß mit Episode 7 von Kryptoticker, der Podcast mit Sebastién Borget. Sebastián, nice to have you here. We're live at NFT Paris and you are the COO and co-founder of The Sandbox, but you can probably explain that a lot better than I can. Maybe you can just give yourself a brief intro on who you are, what you do.
Absolutely. Well, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Sandbox, as well as the president of the Blockchain Game Alliance, which now accounts over 500 members. Sandbox, it's a decentralized gaming virtual world where anyone can become like a 3D creator of like 3D asset, content, and experiences that you access through an avatar, that new digital identity, a 3D character that represents yourself, and you use to socialize with others, to explore, to complete quests, and to earn rewards. And unlike what we've seen before, in Sandbox, you truly own all the content you create or you buy or you earn. You have that freedom of like exchanging it with other users, selling it on marketplaces, including one outside of where you bought the original content.
And how did you come up with that? I mean, when did you start actually working with or for The Sandbox?
So at the very beginning of Sandbox, which started in 2011, we always had that idea that we wanted to like empower anyone to become a creator. So we started using a smartphone by then, and that new technology, which was like a touchscreen, to enable just to create content by the touch of your finger. It was very simple, like 2D pixelated world, and you played with basic elements. And over time, we made 60 updates. There were more than 500 elements, and it became a huge success with 40 million installs. But we also somehow struggled with one thing, is like, even though we were generating good revenue, had a lot of installs and great 70 million player creation, like we were losing contact with all the top creators on the platform. Somehow, like creating by passion, they spend time, hours, days sometimes, and having just social recognition, fame for that content creation wasn't enough. We were lacking the monetization component to that, which was not possible to offer because of the restriction of platforms like Apple and Google, where you cannot send money to people who contribute to your game. So, well, we were struggling about that until in 2017, we found about blockchain and NFTs. We discovered CryptoKitties, the first game that implemented NFTs, and we saw the potential to combine user-generated content and NFTs to solve the problem, allowing anyone to create their own NFT, use them with a game maker, game creation tool, so having a real utility for them and being able to monetize them the way they want on marketplaces, etc. We've been working since then for 4 years developing that platform with content creation tools, marketplace, a map, and a game client for people to interact with those experiences. We've grown the Sandbox. Now we count more than 4.5 million users with a wallet. Over 400 brands that are entered, more than 200 studios that are building on top of Sandbox to create the experience and brand that are their own projects. It's very exciting, and there's this virtual world. That's one thing that makes Sandbox quite unique as well, composed of 164 lands in total, and we sold about 75% of it. There's more than 23,000 landowners, and we keep releasing those new regions of the map, also focusing a lot on like very cultural aspects, thematic, driving content and brand from specific region of the world, or based on certain verticals.
When you said you started with adopting blockchain when you first stumbled upon CryptoKitties in 2017, was it like immediately clear for you? Okay, that is the way to go for us, or was it more of like, okay, let's give it a shot, let's give it a try. We do that as a project and then we see how it ends up, or was it clear? Okay, that is the way that we have to go now and fully focus on it.
So I think like we already immediately saw that NFTs could be much more than just like collectible. Like they could have like a true utility behind. We put further the vision into the white paper that anyone can still read today. But there's things that evolve, of course. Like it's all about iteration in being an entrepreneur and creating a project. Sometimes you make assumptions, they don't prove right, but you learn how to adapt, to correct that trajectory rapidly. And that's by being reactive to the change. We saw like land was important. We saw that avatar and digital identity was important, that interoperability of NFTs. And now we support over 40 collections that people can come and play in Sandbox, has become an essential part of why people like Sandbox and interacting with Sandbox. We saw that like the impact of like the culturalization in the metaverse. It's not just having small event, DJ, private parties, but it's all about like connecting all those different cultures from around the world and giving them a place to express themselves that contributed to some of the successful elements that makes Sandbox what it is today. And all of that we thank the community who is part of the project and supporting us and have been very vocal toward like which direction we should go. And we need to keep on doing that. We haven't finished yet, like delivering over the promise. This year we'll be opening Sandbox, so anyone with the land can publish and start monetizing it. We'll introduce the DAO and drive toward like the decentralization of the governance progressively, step by step, by allowing people to vote and participate into smaller and then bigger decisions. And hopefully the long-term vision will come through with a success in terms of audience, in terms of content, in terms of fun, and proposing something interesting in terms of engagement and retention.
You are a big advocate of Open Metaverse, right? Are there players that see this completely differently? And I don't know, do you have any arguments to state for why the Open Metaverse is really that important? And why are you such a big advocate of that?
Well, there's many arguments, of course. Like I believe like originally, any content that you create or you buy should have been yours right from the beginning. Like, we might not think about it because it's become so normal that I buy something with an in-app purchase or credit card online, and actually I just consume it or I rent it, but I don't own it, and the platform restrict me from a certain action. But why is that so? Like, it doesn't seem that logical to me. So. I do believe that any true digital property right should have been enforced from the beginning. Like the internet was designed, and now with Web3 we have the chance to correct that mistake and make a plan toward growing a digital economy where anyone can become a content creator of art, of games, of experience, but in a way also like any data we produce and that's being monetized on the internet. We are creator of data, and yet we don't own or monetize that data. That data is being collected by the Web2 platform that have been monetizing us as a product and selling us advertising, selling advertising to brands, to us as users. Ultimately, and in a way, we've seen that it allows them to become bigger and stronger, having like a huge treasury of billions of dollars, and it fragilizes even our democracies over time. We've seen how when you own the data, you can also impact and influence the decision of people. So the promise of Web3 is all about let's empower back the users with their data, get them back in control. And we think from the Sandbox perspective, creators of experiences and content should also benefit from the value they bring as they engage into virtual spaces, virtual world. Not just the creator, by the way, also players. Being there, spending time is valuable. It generates an activity. And because you're present, it drives more people in and so on. And instead of having those companies that became big and successful because they have billion of users, and so like that value didn't go to the users, it went to the stock market and the companies. So Web3 is here to correct that. And I think the open metaverse is essential because we don't want to replicate and just rename something that's been already existing before. Like virtual worlds have been there before, they've been successful. Second Life, World of Warcraft, Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox are virtual world, but they are not open. They are not part of the open metaverse yet, since like anything you buy, own, or create, you can't use it anywhere else. You can't sell it anywhere else.
You think a lot also. You talk a lot about where the metaverse is headed, where the sandbox is headed. Where do you get your own inspiration from? I mean, you have a lot of conversations, right? But what is something where you really, I don't know, do you read books a lot or do you listen to talks, or is it you need to, I don't know, meditate or something? Where do you get your own inspiration from and make up your mind?
I think like the line, like we're very passionate about it, obviously, and we've made it like one of the strong pillar of the Sandbox value proposition. But we always want to do it in a way that's very collaborative with an ecosystem. Like that's why we advance from like collaborating, for example, by being part of the Open Metaverse Alliance that we have launched, that also include other actors from the Web3 decentralized space. I read online many articles. I participate in panels. Panels is a great way to listen as well to what other people think and to see like how that actually can help shape better the vision and what you're building and developing toward that vision. And that's, of course, it shouldn't be just words. It has to be translated into actions. That's being close to the community all the time. And some people might be surprised, like, why I'm here on the floor meeting and listening to many people. Like, I don't see a way for a company to be built or a community to be built if the members are not there. So some members, they will be, the community leaders will be on Discord when the community are decentralized, and when the project have the chance to meet the members in real life, you should be here and listen.
Do you think that is something that is unique in Web3, that the accessibility and the community and that founders are actually part of the community, that this is unique in Web3 and is not existing in I don't know, let's say traditional brands?
I don't want to generalize that it's only Web3. I think like we've seen a lot of like community-based Kickstarter for crowdfunding are some example, Patreon sometimes, like there's always those ingredients around it. But I think in Web3 it's being exacerbated because of like the token-based incentive. Like as an owner of a digital asset from a project, you are more than just like a consumer. You are becoming a stakeholder. Like the contributes toward the success of the project and helps the founders. Like, so it's more symbiotic. But it can be also overwhelming because when you don't things right, obviously, like users have the capacity to voice their concern faster, and they can voice their concern in ways like if they are not pleased with the direction of a project goes, they can sell directly the NFT or the digital asset on the secondary market, which is a way to express that, like, I believe that holding this is less valuable than selling it. So you make a strong statement, and then it's up to the people, to the community to act or to react based on that.
Moment. Jetzt gibt es erstmal ein bisschen Werbung. Und zwar für Kryptoticker. Kryptoticker ist nämlich viel mehr als dieser Podcast. Kryptoticker ist die Community rund um Web3, Kryptowährungen, NFTs und allem, was dazugehört. Bereits seit 2015 kümmert sich das Team von Kryptoticker darum, Neulingen und Profis eine Heimat im Kryptospace zu bieten. Auf cryptoticker.io findest du jeden Tag neue Artikel und Insights, prall gefüllt mit News, Tipps, Hintergrundinfos und spannenden Einblicken. Im Kryptoticker Discord kannst du dich mit Tausenden von Gleichgesinnten austauschen, Fragen stellen, Kontakte knüpfen und vieles mehr. Schau am besten jetzt gleich in die Shownotes rein, denn da findest du alle Links zu Kryptoticker und kannst direkt ein Teil der Community werden. Und jetzt weiterhin viel Spaß mit Kryptoticker, der Podcast.
How does your typical day look like? I mean, you obviously probably you work, but what do you focus on? Like, is it client calls? Is it content creator collaboration calls? Is it with the tech team? What does your typical day look like? Or is there a typical day?
My background is very much into engineering, and I've acquired experience as I've been an entrepreneur for 16 years now. Very much on the product, the operation. So I'm very down into pretty much every detail and aspect of it, like understanding it and understanding what doesn't work in it based on the user feedback. I also spend time, obviously, to be present at events, to connect with the community in many part of the world where we're present, and also sometimes going and attracting creators from regions of the world that have been very often left or forgotten by more traditional Web3 platform, to give them more chance for being included and on an equal stake thanks to Web3.
If you look at NFT Paris, where we're currently at, I found something interesting where people said, look at the queue, look at the length of the queue. We are building, we are real. This is going further. How did you perceive it so far? I mean, you have a lot of conversations with the people here. How's your perception of NFT Paris?
Yeah, absolutely. Last year, NFT Paris was maybe 500 to 1,000 people.
Yeah.
This year is 11,000 people.
Yeah.
So that the sheer numbers speak indeed toward that. And then if we look more closely, the kind of project you're seeing at NFT Paris are very cultural centric. You have art, fashion, lifestyle, gaming, metaverse, a crossing of it. You can feel and see those projects. Many of them are collaborative. The audience are quite diverse in a way as well. It's not only business or tech or you might feel in other events that are crypto only. Yep. Here is really about culture, art, expression. I think that's very powerful as well. And that shows in a way how this industry could be moving forward to more mainstream audiences.
Yeah, I can believe that. Okay, before we finish, I just have some quick questions. It's either or.
Okay.
So you choose the option you like a bit more, or you actually like more.
Yeah.
First one: Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Ethereum.
Twitter or LinkedIn?
LinkedIn. Twitter, sorry.
Twitter? Okay.
I heard Twitch or LinkedIn.
No,
Twitter.
So Twitter or LinkedIn, yeah, Twitter. OpenSea or Blur?
OpenSea.
Bored Ape Yacht Club or CryptoPunk?
Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Croissant or pain au chocolat?
Pain au chocolat.
All right, Sebastián.
My
It was
pleasure.
a pleasure. Thank you very much for being here, and all the best.
Thank you as well. Thank you so much, and see you in the metaverse, everyone.
See you. Bye.
Vielen Dank fürs Zuhören. Wenn euch die Folge gefallen hat, dann lasst uns gerne ein Like da, klickt auf Abonnieren, macht eine Bewertung oder was euch sonst so einfällt. Damit helft ihr uns ziemlich. Und jetzt einen schönen restlichen Tag, Abend oder Morgen und bis zum nächsten Mal.